Hi everyone, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the backyard and we're going to have a September backyard garden tour. Things are still blooming like crazy. A lot of things are looking a little tired. I'm leaving them up so they can go to seed. It's a really hard time for me transition wise because I really want to just cut the things back that don't look great so I could see the other things shine. But I know that next year, letting some of these things go to seed, I will be so grateful for because I'll have a bigger crop and it'll be beautiful again next year. But I'm just gonna show you what the garden looks like in September, and some of it's messy and that's okay. It's just part of gardening, right? So yeah, we're just gonna take a look around the backyard and see how it's looking. I mean, there's a lot of color still and it's still looking really beautiful in a lot of spaces. But as a gardener, I don't know if you all do this, but as a gardener, I just see everything that needs to be taken care of rather than the things that are looking beautiful. So let's turn the camera around and show you what's going on. So to begin with, we've got our back deck, which is now pine needle haven this time of year. And the annuals are looking definitely tired. These are mini vistas, and are they mini vistas? No, they're super bells. Sorry, these are all super bells. Just looking a little tired. We're getting cool nights and not very warm in the day, so they're about ready to say goodbye. However, with the cooler days, the geraniums are popping and looking beautiful, and we're starting to get our fuchsia flowers, which are so sweet. I love this combo. It's really a nice combo here. Let's go walk around the outside of this deck and we'll take a look at these impatiens. Okay, so these impatiens this year got enormous. I don't know, like the variety must be different than the variety that I bought last year, because last year I just had all pink and they stayed about half that size. You cannot, there's a little hosta flower trying to wave its red flag here. You cannot see the hosta. These are like mini hostas. There's 3 hostas in here. Look at that. And then there's a coleus that could not keep up with these impatiens, which is, to me, so crazy. We fertilized them like we did every other annual in the garden, and they just went insane, which is super fun. The pond got replanted this summer. Things are looking decent. You know, the dark sedum is blooming and everything else just looks like it, you know, it just kind of took. Even this hosta bloomed. This one actually smells, so it's got this really sweet, delicate scent. Time to cut back some of these older fronds, but I was waiting to see some new foliage come up in this holly fern to make sure it took, and it looks really good. So we cut those back and then just enjoy the beautiful foliage. This is what a typical impatient normally does, like this size right here. It's underneath our screen, but like that is what I expected of our impatiens, and that's what I got. It's crazy. All right, so let's actually get into the backyard now. On the deck here, we've got some containers with snapdragons, and they are just about bloomed out. It's time to cut them back. I doubt that I'll get another flush. You can see this one got cut back a little while ago, pushed new growth, but I just don't think we're gonna get hot enough to see any more flowers. So I'll probably just be cutting them down quite a bit. We have a dahlia trying to come up here. We've got a pink cashmere that is done blooming back there. And then in this one, I should say it's a pink cashmere verbena. This is the, I think this is like oh, I can't remember which verbena this is. These are both proven winter verbenas that wintered over for me. This one came back way better, and it's been blooming like crazy. I've been deadheading it. More snapdragons. These ones are actually just starting to get ready to open. I'm not sure if they will or not. We'll just be playing the waiting game. I've got the Tom Thumb tomatoes in here, and I've been picking tomatoes like crazy. They're really good and delicious when they're like at this stage right here, almost translucent and bright orange. They're super sweet, and just as their description says, oodles of tiny tomatoes, which has just been really fun. I think what I'll do is just go around the perimeter, and then we'll go on the inner garden. Okay, so in this pot I've got some carnations, which have been sporadically blooming, and we've got a begonia. This is like one of the, I don't know, grocery store begonias, and it came back for me, so that's been fun. We have all this fireweed, which we've cut back dramatically already once, and at this point I'm just letting all of these go to seed. So they look a little tired. Do I need all of them to go to seed? Probably not. I could cut some of them back so that we could let the cannas show off, but you could see that the canna flowers are way above all of this, so I'm not really mad about it. I'll just let these go to seed and let the cannas shine in the background if they get enough heat in the next couple of weeks to actually open up. Let's hope. The amaranth is done. Some of it is going to seed. I'm going to collect some seed off of here. We'll probably do a flower arrangement with these ones in the near future. The honeysuckle is close to being done blooming, but it's still putting off some flowers. This one struggles with powdery mildew like mad. I've cut it all the way back a couple of times, and you know, I'm really close to ready to just find a different climbing vine for this space. I don't know. We had this volunteer sunflower come up, and then some honeysuckle decided to use it as a trellis, which I thought was hilarious, and I just let it do its thing. In the heat, it finally succumbed to, you know, some weather, but I'm gonna leave it here and hopefully get some seeds. We'll see what happens. And then over here, we have been pulling our nasturtiums slowly. We still have this patch right here that looks fresh, but we had some growing with this black-eyed Susan vine that just looked terrible. We pulled that out, but the black-eyed Susan vine is still going. In Spencer's little garden here, all that's left is like beautiful lush snapdragons. They're just so thick and beautiful, but they're really not pushing any more blooms. This is the last bloom stalk. The rest of it is just beautiful plant material. The echinacea is done. These little yellow flowers are petering out. Our snapdragons overwinter for us, so if I cut them down to like 6 or 8 inches, they'll come back for us in the spring. So I like to leave them up through maybe the first part of October to see if they'll give me any more blooms, but I know that they'll come back next year. We'll remove them from these pots because they're too big, and we'll just put them somewhere else, but that's the cool thing about snapdragons in our garden anyway. The lamb's ear is all done blooming. We've cut all the bloom stalks back. The hellebores are starting to shine a little bit more. They're, you know, they're just huge back there. The cyclamens are starting to bloom everywhere. We've got a red one here. I don't know. I guess my purple one is not blooming right now, but they're going to start coming on. Then we've got our newly planted raised beds back here. Everything's looking pretty darn good. The hostas are clearly going down, but that's time of year all the hostas are going down. It's to be expected. We've got a kaffir lily blooming back there. It's just starting to bloom in the cool season. These guys will start blooming in different areas in the garden. Really, these were here when we moved in, and they just kind of sporadically come up. We've got a little cyclamen that's pushed out right here, but no flower yet. We've got a purple one and a white one back there. Super fun. The butterfly bush got really damaged really damaged in a rainstorm a few weeks ago, so I had to cut all these broken branches off of it, and it looks a little worse for wear. So I think I'll probably just come in. I usually cut it back in the spring, but I think I'm just going to cut it way back this fall and see what it does next year. We cut back all of our crocosmia here, and so things are just slowly, you know, slowly saying goodnight to the garden. We've still got so many violas and pansies over there, super fun. The violas in these little beds have completed their cycles until maybe the spring. I don't know. I don't see any foliage. I should see foliage to know that they're going to come back, but the snapdragons are just still going wild, and they're so tall in these little beds. It's kind of funny, but also really fun to see. Like, they're taller than the door. It's just silly. We could take a quick look out here. The rain tree is, or the golden rain chain tree is starting to put on its fall color, which it just turns this brilliant yellow in peak fall season. And the other shrubs are starting to turn as well. Again, the hosta is ready to get cut back, but we do have some asters still trying to open up. I'm finally seeing a little bit of color right there. That's exciting. The asters in the front yard have been in full bloom for a week at least. We planted this Temple of Bloom together this spring. Like, have some moss growing on it. And it is pushing its little flowers. Isn't that cute? So that's exciting. It seems to be loving its life, and it has this really fun fall color too. So I'm excited to see what it looks like, because this is like an all-season plant, my understanding. Like, it has some kind of interest winter, spring, summer, and fall. All right, honeysuckle. This honeysuckle is actually a baby from the one that we looked at a moment ago, and it is so much happier and cleaner and doesn't have any powdery mildew, and it bloomed like crazy this year. So I think I'm just gonna hang on to this one and have a beautiful honeysuckle, and just keep training it on the fence here and get rid of the other one. Here's the rhododendron that we have been trying to encourage to be healthy. I do have just a couple of lower leaves that need to be cleaned up and removed. We're removing all of these leaves with black spot on them, and just keeping the soil as clean as we can. There's a couple of weeds I'm seeing. I mean, I just struggle so much with this rhododendron, but it has the most beautiful orange color. I'd really like to save it. So it's looking better than it has in other falls, so we'll see. Of course, all of our rhododendrons and camellias are all done on this side, but in the veggie bed, I really haven't touched it in a little while. The kohlrabi is finally starting to form up its little alien head, like Spencer likes to call them, alien heads. And then, of course, we still have chard going, and a couple more potato plants that we can dig from. The raspberry patch is completely insane. Like, I don't know what's going on with that thing. It's like 15 feet tall arm up there. It's just crazy. We will be coming in here and corralling this and pruning them as they are needed to be pruned. in the next couple of weeks. And of course, I'll share that with you. I'll share that process with you. I'm also very much considering digging out this half of the bed and planting a different variety, just because this variety is not my favorite. This one was delicious and it produced so well, and I still have, you know, just like a couple hanging on here and there, just like spitting out a few more garden snacks as as fall comes on, which is just so lovely. I love those little garden snacks. They give me a little pick-me-up when I'm gardening. Like I said, we'll get into the interior in just a moment, but let's go ahead and look at this butterfly garden real quick. The Autumn Joy sedum has put on its autumn color. It'll continue to deepen as the season cools, but you can kind of see what it's doing. This is the first year I've had powdery mildew on this variety, so I'm finding that really interesting. I definitely don't want it to be quite this big, so I'm gonna be taking like this part out and maybe this part out so it's not crowding some of these other plants quite as much. We have the chocolate cosmos, which did really well this year, better than any other year in any other place in the garden, so I'm really happy about that. I'm also leaving a few of these dead flowers on here, so in hopes that it'll seed and self-seed and just keep getting bigger. I think they are just absolutely gorgeous. Here's one that's still looking pretty prime. It's beautiful. We also have the pink bee balm, which is just like so beautiful, but bee balm really struggles with powdery mildew, and I did not get on top of it this year. And I think maybe that's why my sedum has it, because they're so close in proximity. I planted this little hedge of alyssum. It's done blooming mostly, but it was a really fun thing to have this year. And then, of course, we've got a heuchera and a geranium and a lady's mantle, all looking fresh and beautiful. The chatalpa is looking good. It looks happy in its new spot. We cut back our crocosmia. We shared that with you. And then, of course, we've got our sweet peas, which are totally done, and I cut back the majority of them, but I left some on here because I'm hoping to, like, oh, see, that one already dropped, collect some brown seeds. So I'll, like, these are a little bit green. You just have to find it at the perfect moment to collect them, so that we can grow them again this next year. This is my favorite one. It's just like such a beautiful dark magenta color, but I just wanted to, like, this one's probably pretty close. I wanted to collect some seeds, so I left these on here. And then we've got some dill that's ready to get picked. So awesome. We also have a vermillionaire in the ground here. It's looking gorgeous. This will come back for me. It'll be a perennial in my garden. So that's exciting. All right, then we will just take a quick glimpse down here. You can see the hostas are definitely saying goodnight. Good night. And then our roses are blooming again. They just, at this time of year, they're just kind of sporadic, but they give me color almost all year long. So we just get these little sparkly bits of roses continuing on through winter. And then we'll just come on over here. Sounds like my neighbor is doing some work, so hopefully you could hear me okay. We did dig up this wisteria from around our pond, and this is the amethyst falls, and I have an idea of where I want to plant it. I'm just not ready to plant it there yet, so it's just living in this container until we're ready to go. And in front of the greenhouse, in these containers here, we have some Crispedia, which is you know, completing its season, but we do have a few little flowers that are still, like, look at this thing. It's so tall. Beautiful bright yellow flower. But the foliage is so messy looking. I'm not, like, look at this. Here it is. It's just not, I don't know. I'm not impressed. I don't think I'll grow Crispidia again. The lupins are looking absolutely beautiful. I'll be collecting the pink seeds. I've already collected seeds from the purple one. I'll be collecting from the pink. And then we're going to transplant all the lupin to another area of the garden because we're going to be doing something different in here next year. I tried planting beans, bush beans in here this spring, and they got eaten by slugs except for one. And then I was just in here this morning and noticed I have these two little beans. What is that? It's just like, I just have these two little beans. Isn't that so funny? I wasn't even paying attention. So, okay. And then this is another little Crispidia. We recently removed some shrubs out of these containers. So they didn't look that sad all year long. But I was hoping that we would get some Crispidia bulked up and colored so I can dry them since we did grow them this year. I won't be growing them again. All right, in the inner garden, along the fence line, mostly we have columbine, still looking really beautiful. Of course, the flowers have gone to seed. Most of them have just been cut back. On the other end, we have some chicory that is also going to seed, and I just want this whole front of the fence line to just be like wildflower looking. We've got basket of gold that we grew from seed this spring, doing a little blooming. I'm really excited how well it did, and I'm looking forward to putting it out into the garden next year. The dahlia patch these are all dahlias that I grew from seed from one packet from Floret Farms, Flower Farm. This is the Shooting Star series, and it's been a really fun experiment. We've gotten so many different colors, so many different styles of flowers, and when you grow dahlias from seed, you have no idea what you're gonna get. You can assume, because the plant was the Shooting Star, that you're gonna get these star style flowers. But you know, when you get a little double petal, that's super exciting. You don't know what colors you're gonna get. This is another double petal here. We'll look at my favorite one, which is over on the other side, but just a lot of really fun colors. And I'm just labeling the ones that I really love and that I'll save those tubers and use them in the garden in future years. And the ones that I'm not in love with, I'm just gonna let go. I really love this one. It's really simple. I love the style of the petals. I pretty much will keep all of the orange and yellows. I just love that beautiful sunset color. But this one is my favorite. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? Oh, they're so much fun. And they start out like this. They look like they're just gonna be this super fun, fluffy. And then they end up with this like extra poof. And then they drop all their lower petals. Like this is all dropping their lower petals. And they end up, even with their lower petals dropped off, they still look super cute. Really fun flower. And then, you know, we got quite a few whites in here. Some I loved, some weren't my favorite. I really love this one. So cool. Anyway, so that's our dahlia patch. They were all from seed. I had no idea what colors they were going to be, so I couldn't color block, but I find it really interesting that most of my oranges are in this this aisle, or I did I think 4 rows. Yeah. So we've got all of our orange and yellows. We've got quite a bit of whites in this row. And then we have like a maroon and a hot pink in this row. I just thought that was really interesting. Anyway, in these containers, we have more snapdragons. We have Super Tunia Bubblegum and Super Tunia Tiara Pink. And then really beautiful snapdragons. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And we've got this little rose right here. And then on this side, we have a dahlia that I grew from tuber. I just don't know which one it is because I mixed up all my tubers when I dug them up last year because I didn't care. I just wanted it all to be a wild mix. So it'll be a surprise when it opens up. Hopefully it will open up here soon. Inside of the greenhouse, just the last part of the tour, we have, this is black creme, and it's starting to darken up, almost ready to harvest. We've been picking a lot off of this one. It's looking really Charlie Brown at this point. Just waiting for these last three to kind of ripen up. We've been picking off of this one, also looking a little sad, but delicious tomatoes. Lemon verbena, which kind of took off in the last couple of weeks. Like, I've been maintaining it pretty like normal looking, and then it just got wild. And then the Tulsi basil has gone to flower, and I'm just letting it go to seed so I can collect seed and grow Tulsi. Hopefully grow it on myself next year. And then we've got, of course, the flowering maple, which never quite hit the roof. I thought it was going to for quite a while. It just hasn't done it yet. Feverfew is done blooming. Makes a really cute, like, fall kind of dried flower interest. Because if you want to collect it for medicine, you'll want to collect it at this stage. Which I got a lot of feverfew this year already. And then we have some more of the Tom Thumbs, and look at this thing. It is just all tomato and no more leaves, really. Like, I could just pretty much just harvest the rest of this plant and say goodnight. And this one is really close too. Just so many sweet little tomatoes. I think I'll just pick all these off this evening and make some, like a fresh batch of salsa. And then we've got our jalapenos, and they're pretty close. Like, this one for sure can be picked, and I would pick these two as well, and let this one kind of come on a little bit more. We'll see what happens. We've got little babies and flowers here. I just don't think we're gonna have enough heat to get any more than what's there. So as you can see, things are winding down in the garden. I'm sure the next time we're back here together, our maple will be in full autumn glory. And, you know, things are just going to slowly get pulled and cut back and transplanted. And we're going to get ready for the next year. But I've been really pleased with this season. We just had such an abundant and beautiful garden this year. It has just been such a huge pleasure and so much fun. It's like inspiring me to see what I can do next year back here and in other parts of the garden. So as you know, this area gets changed every single year. I do themed gardens. I don't like to stick with the same thing. It bores me. So this year I did like carnival, multicolored, think, you know, Mexico or Hawaii, and I think I achieved that. Lots of different colors, lots of different textures, just really beautiful wildflower garden this year. And next year we're going to be doing a victory garden, and I'll be really focused on vegetables, which is not something I normally do at all. So it'll definitely be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it, and it'll give this garden a completely different look. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you're celebrating your life, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.